Hey there, welcome back to my channel. If she loves you, she will ignore you. She hasn't texted, she hasn't called, but your gut says she still cares. So is she pulling away? Let me tell you something hard to swallow. If she truly loves you, she might ignore you, not to punish you, but to test the strength you claim to have. Because real women don't just fall for words. They fall for presence, for power, for poise, under pressure and silence. That's where your real strength gets revealed. To learn a truth most men never hear, that when a woman ignores you, she's not always walking away, sometimes is watching, waiting, measuring your reaction. In this video, I'm giving you the rough psychology behind why women pull away when they love you, and what to do about it. Not to manipulate her, but to master yourself. Comment below. I rise in the silence because after today, you won't flinch when she disappears. You'll grow stronger, and she'll feel it even if she never says a word. Let's dive in. 1. Her silence is a mirror, not a message. When a woman pulls away and goes silent, most men take it personally. They assume it's a rejection, a sign that she's interested. But what if I told you it's not about what she's saying, it's about what you're seeing? Her silence isn't a message, it's a mirror. She's not trying to punish you. She's watching you, watching how you respond when the emotional high disappears, when the validation stops, when the attention fades. She wants to know, are you the same man when she's quiet as you were when she was warm? This is where most men crumble. They start overanalyzing, texting more, calling, posting on social media to get a reaction. They beg for reassurance, not through words, but through behavior. And in doing so, they show her exactly what she feared, that their strength was never real. You see, any man can hold his frame when a woman is praising him, but only a rare man holds it when she goes cold. That's when your masculinity is tested. Not in comfort, but in the absence of comfort. Not when she's leaning in, but when she's leaning away. Women are intuitive. They feel your internal shift. When your sense of self drops, because her attention does, she senses it immediately. And that's when the attraction dies. Because attraction isn't about always being close. It's about always being grounded. So understand this. When she ignores you, she's not just being distant. She's handing you a mirror. And what you show her in that mirror will determine whether she leans back in or walks away for good. If she sees fear, insecurity, neediness, she know you were only confident when she gave you permission. But if she sees stillness, discipline, and peace, she know you're the kind of man who doesn't just talk strength, he embodies it. This is the first test, the test of silence. And how you react in that silence determines everything. Don't try to decode her distance, decode her reaction to it. Because her silence isn't the problem, it's the opportunity. 2. The pullback is the test of emotional leadership. When she begins to pull away, texts become shorter, calls become fewer, her energy shifts. The untrained man goes into panic mode. He thinks this is his moment to double down, to prove his value, to chase harder. But what he doesn't see is that this moment is not a loss of connection, it's a test of leadership. Emotional leadership is not about fixing her moods or controlling the outcome. It's about remaining composed when things stop feeling easy. Women need to feel that the man they're with doesn't sway every time their emotions do. That when she becomes uncertain, you don't become insecure. The pullback is natural, it's biological, it's psychological, it's spiritual, and it always happens. When the honeymoon phase ends, and that's sexically when the real man shows up or fades. You see. A woman's pullback is instinctual. It's her way of checking. Is this man anchored in something deeper than me? Ish operating on mission or on my approval? Every time you flinch when she treats, you send her a signal. Miss stability is fake. I'm only grounded when you're near. And that's terrifying for a man who needs her attention. Feels strong, is a man she cannot lean in when things get tough. But a man who holds his energy steady even when she becomes inconsistent, gives her the emotional safety she craves. So what do you do when she pulls away? You don't chase. You don't question. You don't spiral. You return to your core, your work, your goals, your mission. You focus on what you were building before she even arrived. That's the man she wins. The man who doesn't need her butchuses, the man who's rooted in something deeper than emotion. Leadership isn't about force, it's about presence. It's about being unmoved when things around you shift. That's what makes a woman feel safe enough to surrender. And ironically, it's when you stop trying to control her emotions that she starts feeling closer to you again. 3. Attraction lives in the unknown. Modern culture teaches men to always be available, always be expressive, always rusher, but real attraction doesn't grow in it grows in tension, in distance, in the unknown. The moment she feels like she has you figured out, that bull begins to die. Not because she's ungrateful or shallow, but because femini energy thrives on emotional polarity and the unknown. That's where polarity intensifies. When you're too predictable, too eager to present, she subconsciously senses that you're more invested in her than in yourself. And that imbalance slowly erodes a seat desire she once felt, but when you become silent, not out of spite, but from grounded detachment, she starts to feel something different. Confusion, curiosity, mystery. She wonders, why isn't he reaching out? Has he moved on? Was he always this strong? And that mystery is magnetic. Understand this, the unknown is not your enemy. It's your advantage if you use it right. Stop trying to fill every gap with words. Let silence speak for you. Let her wonder where your mind is, what her working on, who you're becoming. That space you give her isn't emptiness, it's tension. And tension creates a steer. Every woman has emotional rhythms. Sometimes she needs closeness. Other times she needs space. But the moment you react to that rhythm instead, of respecting it, she stops feeling safe. She stops feeling turned on because now you're following her lead, not holding your own. When you allow the unknown to breathe, you send her a clear message. My life doesn't revolve around you. It includes you, but it doesn't depend on you. And that is incredibly attractive, so don't panic when things become uncertain. Don't chase clarity in confusion. Hold your energy, master your time, let your growth speak. In your because when a woman has calendar where she stands with a man who is deeply grounded, emotionalized and busy building his kingdom, she's not losing interest. She's falling deeper into curiosity. And curiosity is where desire is born. For, don't chase, rise. The second she pulls back, your mind whispers, text her. Call her. Fix this. But that voice and strength, it's fear dressed up as urgency. And fear, no matter how subtle, always repels. When you chase, what you're releasing is, my identity is shaking, and you need her to steady it. But a high-value woman doesn't want to steady you. She wants to feel your steadiness. The most powerful men don't chase love, their eyes when it retreats. Instead of reacting to her distance, they rise into purpose. Instead of pleading for attention, they double down on discipline. You're not supposed to go after her. You're supposed to go deep. You think about it, would the man you admire beg for validation? Or would use heartbreak as fuel to level up? When she ignores you, let it hurt, but let that pain shape you, not shatter you. Hit the gym like your life depends on it. Master your schedule like your future depends on it. Speak less, build more, because here's the paradox. The moment she feels you no longer need her to validate you is the moment she starts to feel your power again. Most men chase when the vibe shifts, and in doing so, they prove they were never grounded to begin with. But if you rise quietly, intentionally, consistently, she feels that shift, too. And this time, it won't be desperation she senses. It'll be your ascension. Your gravitational pull, Thora of a man who doesn't chase because he's already running toward a higher version of himself. 5. If she loves you, she wants to feel safe, not soothed. Here's the truth about the feminine. It's not looking for perfection, it's looking for presence. And presence isn't about constantly reassuring her. It's about being unshaken even when she is. When a woman loves you deeply, she starts to expose more of her emotionalities, her moods, her fear, her silence. And you might think she wants you to dissolve it, to soothe her, to bring her back to happiness. But that's not what she needs. What she needs is a container, a space that doesn't collapse when she gets emotional. A man who doesn't flinch when she gets cold. Women feel things deeply. They cycle through highs and lows. It's not weakness, it's nature. But the feminine cannot trust in a man who needs her to be happy in order to stay calm. So the next time she pulls away, don't rush in with flowers, messages, or are you okay energy. Instead, pause, breathe, observe, watch her chaos move around you, but don't let it move through you. She doesn't want you to fix her. She wants to feel that you can hold her, that your emotional ground is stable now for her storm. And when you become that man, the one who remains composed in her chaos, she feels safe. Safe enough to soften, to return to open. But if you chase, if you react, if you lose yourself trying to sue her, she'll lose the very trust she wasted for. 6. Let her walk, but leave the door open. This is where most men break. She pulls away, gets distant, starts saying things like, I need space, or I'm confused, and you, in your fear, slammed door behind her, block her, beg her, try to pull her back. But the strong man doesn't chase or trap. He doesn't collapse or retreat. He simply steps aside and leaves the door open. Because when you leave the door open, you send as a lot message. I want you here, but I didn't need you here to be whole. That message is rare. That message is powerful. That message is words. Letting her walk ease in weakness. It's strength. It's saying, I won't fight for someone who's unsure of him, but I'll keep walking in the direction of my highest self. And if ya want to catch up, you know where Theodore is. This isn't passive aggressiveness, it's emotional severity. Women don't stay because you begged. They stay because they remember how you held your dignity when thee stepped back. They remember how you didn't fold, how you didn't chase. And that memory becomes louder than any apology. So if she needs to go, let her. But in the space she creates, don't fill it with desperation. Fill it with let her walk. And while she's walking become unforgettable. 7. Stand still. When she runs, when she withdraws, when her messages slow down, her tone shifts, her warmth fades, the average man interprets it as danger. He reacts. He scrambles. He texts more. He offers more. He becomes more emotionally expressive in the hopes of freeing what once was. But here's the truth. Her running isn't an invitation to chase. It's a call to pause. When Sharon's, she's not just escaping. She's observing. Observing how solid you remain with other emotional presence. She's not trying to see if you'll come after her. She's trying to see if you can stand still without breaking. The man who panics. The man who spirals. The man who rushes in with explanations and validation, kills attraction not because he's not a good guy, but because he's emotionally led, not emotionally leading. You must understand this deeply. Women test your stillness, not your sweetness. The grounded man knows that chasing erranding woman is a race with no finish line. He doesn't sprint after her. He stays still anchored in his values, his mission, his strength, not to prove a point, not to punish her, but to protect this peace. Because stillness says, I'm not here to entertain your uncertainty. I'm here to embody certainty. She may not even realize she's testing you, but she'll feel it. She'll feel the difference between a man who collapses without herald, a man who continues to rise easily, intentionally. Stillness isn't passivity, it's power. It's the message abend, the silence. The kind that whispers, I won't chase you, but I'll be here, unmoved, unshaken, unbothered. And eventually, she looked back, not back as you followed her, but because she couldn't. Forget the man who didn't tie to 8, become a man she can't shake. Most men are easy to forget. They say the right things, they do the romantic gestures. They show up when it's convened, but the second the emotional tide turns, they fall apart. You want to be different. Don't just be the man she deserves, be the man she can't shake. This kind of man is rare because he's not reactive. He's not emotionally dependent. He doesn't shapeshift just to maintain her approval. He is carved from solitude. His identity is not built in her love, it's built in his purpose. And when she tries to shake that identity with distance, silence, or doubt, he remains unshaken. Why? Because he doesn't need her affection to feel powerful. He doesn't need her presence to feel peace. His worth is not a question she answers, it's a truth he lives. This man becomes unforgettable, not because he says the perfect lines, but because his energy is undeniable. His absence speaks louder than the presence of 10 needy men. She starts to feel it when her emotional games don't move him. When her silence doesn't spark a flinch, when her withdrawal doesn't trigger pursuit. And that's when her curiosity turns into obsession. That's when she asks herself, did he just walk away from the strongest man you've ever met? So become that man. Become so internally campo that her love feels like a gift, not a lifeline. And if she leaves, you don't crumble, you become even more magnetic in the fire. 9. Her love needs your strength, not your softness. This one will sting for some, but women do not fall for emotional weakness. They fall for emotional resilience. There's a difference between being vulnerable and being fragile, between being expressive and being dependent. And when she's pulling away, she's not asking for a soft man to cry with her. She's asking for a strong man to carry the weight. She can't. Her love is deep, but with that love comes emotional storms, moods, triggers, insecurity. And if you crumble, every time she does, you both drown. The feminine doesn't want a mirror. It wants a container. Amen, who doesn't reflect her chaos, beauty absorbs it with poise. So, when she loves you and pulls away, it's not to push you out. It's to test your structure. Are you strong enough to stay steady when she's uncertain? If you flinch, she loses trust. Not because she wants to, but because her soul can't anchor to a man who's emotionally weaker than her. So, you must hold the line. Not out of ego, but out of integrity. Not with arrogance, but with assurance. Your strength creates the safety for her. Love toddy pun. And if she sees you as unshakable, she return more open, more vulnerable, more devoted than ever before. Because the woman who loves deeply is waiting to give that love to Amon strong enough to carry it. 10. Thefanal test. Can you stay grounded without her? At the end of it all, wench ignores you, distances herself, tests your silence. There's only one real question being asked. Can you stay grounded without her? This is the final threshold between boy and man, between emotional codependency and sovereign masculinity. It's easy to be stable when everything's smooth, but when the person you care about withdraws, how you respond reveals of everything. Do you spiral? Do you reach out in desperation? Do you attach your worth to her validation? Or do you order into the path? Do you wake up earlier, train harder, focus deeper? Do you take her absence and build with it? That's the test. Because a woman's deepest craving is to love a man who doesn't need her to lead, who doesn't want her presence to remain whole, a man who stays centered no matter who leaves. When she feels that, her tests end, her walls drop, her love pours out. Not because you begged for it, but because you proved you didn't need it to become who you already are. That's real stoicism. That's masculine self-mastery. That's what separates the forgettably from the unforgettable. So, let her ignore you. Let her walk, let her test, and while she's doing that, you become the man she can't replace. She may ignore you. She may pull back. But that's not your cue, Tachis. It's your chance to rise. Let her feel your absence. Let her feel your slits, not because you're punishing her, but because you're protecting your power. If this message hit home, comb and bellow. I rise when it's silent. Bekazath, men who rise in the silence are theons who become unforgettable. Like this video, share it with a brother who's losing himself over someone who's pulling away. And hit that subscribe, because here we don't chase love. We build presence. We lead with